Hello folks, and welcome. SparkyLinux 7.5 Orion Belt. I think it was just redone in the last couple of days. So today is 11/8/2024. This is Xfce 418, and you can see the rest of my hardware information. I'm going to talk about connecting computers and your iPhone to Sparky. SparkyLinux is a lightweight distribution, so might as well get this out of the way. Let me crawl over to DistroWatch to give you some information about this distribution if you're not familiar with Sparky. On DistroWatch, I don't particularly use the popularity factor, but it's listed at 23 here. I generally mention that when I do videos displaying this information. I don't really use that information. But I do like the layout of the rest of the descriptions from DistroWatch. SparkyLinux is out of Poland. It's a Debian-based distribution. They do have several desktops, and I'm using Xfce. Okay, so SparkyLinux.org if you are interested or do not know too much about this distribution. Okay, it's a lightweight Linux system, and a lot of people like lightweight desktops for a lot of different reasons, and I'm using Xfce. What I did to the panel bar, though, I'm sorry to say, I changed the Sparky icon. I didn't really care for their stretched out Sparky icon because it kind of looks like this. If I can find, yeah, I did an actual screenshot of that. It's kind of stretched out in my book, but that's just me. I can certainly assign it also manual icons. I've done that many times. So that's all done through here. So I just used one of these. I can certainly use one of my own. And I'll go to a hidden folder that's in here. Now you see it, no you don't, kind of thing. Control H. Anyways, I have a hidden folder in my documents, and you look at yeah, I like this icon here, but this is one of mine. I'm just letting you see how easy it is to do this. Okay, so I will go back to all icons and type in Sparky. Let me try that one. All right, moving along. I also increased some of the sizes of the icons. So let me get back to the meat of what I'm mentioning. So my iPhone's connected already, and here's some files that I downloaded, and I'll talk about the whole procedure. So I have a tower computer, I believe it's a Cinnamon desktop, and an iPhone connected. All right, so let me first talk about the iPhone part. I'll just use my productivity shortcut connector. And all the files that are going to be received from the iPhone end up here. The other one from the tower computer end up here. You don't have to put shortcuts, but I like to put in containers. Create yourself subfolders, and I'll show you how to assign these. All right, while I have this open though, let's talk about that right there. So basically, you're going to install KDE Connect on your smartphone. I don't care if it's Android or if it is Apple iPhone. Okay. A typical screenshot from the iPhone itself when you're looking at devices look like this. And you can probably tell that I have other remembered devices. Xfce desktops, GNOME. The tool is generally geared toward the Plasma desktop, KDE Connect, but you can certainly use that on other Linux family distributions. I believe that Tower 1 is a Cinnamon computer. Cinnamon desktop. And of course, this one is Sparky Xfce 1. I'll show you a little bit about pairing, but let me first get some of these screenshots out of the way. So once they're paired up and I wanted to send some files, I can just click the photos and select photos in my library and send them over to this computer, and they'll be received right in here. I can also send it files from the iPhone. This is all from the iPhone. If you send a file to the iPhone, it ends up, I'm going to click on this, over here with this screenshot, right here. You'll see it highlight blue. So standard photos are received directly in the same place you save your regular photos on your iPhone, which is your photo library. It's a nice convenient thing. However, if you send it a PDF, it'll end up in the Files app. And you can click that and you can see the files then. And then you can do the appropriate thing, open the PDF and look at it and all that good stuff. So yes, you do need to have that installed, and the app needs to be open when you are communicating on your iPhone. The tower computer is going to be installed very similar to what I'm going to show you here today. Okay, so filming in 1080, if I didn't say so earlier, adjust your YouTube player accordingly. I highly recommend that you subscribe. I do have a couple of other Sparky videos if you wanted to go take a look at my YouTube site. I have playlists and I also have search features. Usually the search feature is probably best. It's this magnifying glass in the center of the web page. So let's talk about Synaptic Package Manager. I have a shortcut of it here. Sparky, again, is a lightweight distribution. It comes with two package managers, Etus and Synaptic. I'm just so used to Synaptic that I do this. Where's the stuff coming from? Repositories. Well, that I'll open for you. So if you don't know anything about Sparky. Sparky, ORG, and also Debian. Bookworm. Search feature. I like to use name. Type in KDE Connect. KDE Connect can be found on just about all Linux distributions. Okay, and they can also be found in your iPhone App Store and Android, whether it's an iPhone or a tablet. Install that. Mark it, apply. Okay, there are quite a few apps in here. So 65,000 packages are listed in Synaptic, by the way. All right, once that's installed, it installs 3 or 4 different kind of things. So the Connect indicator normally does not display unless you're, well, paired up. And it becomes a white K. You just click that and nothing will happen until you actually start pairing. I have the KDE Connect settings on one of these icons and the KDE Connect on the other. They are actually different. All right, this is KDE Connect on, I don't think it'll work too well, but I'm not going to discuss sending files the regular way. We're going to use our file manager for that. But I will show you what these look like. So this is KDE Connect, and this is KDE Connect settings. And they're used for a couple of different purposes. I can refresh to see if the devices are still alive. And all of your connected devices are on the same Wi-Fi network, not cellular for the iPhone, Wi-Fi. Tower 1 is also on the same Wi-Fi. This is the name of this computer. Do you ever wondered where did these things get their names? Well, it's whatever you called it when you installed it. I'm going to use terminal for this though. If you don't know how to read terminal, Bob is our user for today, and this is the name of this computer. The S part is for Sparky, Xfce is for the name of this desktop, and number 1. I have lots of devices that I have connected via KDE Connect because I have lots of Linux machines. So in either case, we can also do some configuration in here. This is more of a, you can unpair. You can technically share a file, but I'm going to show you a better method. But what I use KDE Connect settings for is to do a little bit of productivity and house cleaning. In here, I created 2 folders. One for the iPhone, one for the tower computer. If I have more connections, I'll create some more folders. Now, why did I do it this way? Well, whenever you are downloading stuff from web browsers, whether you have one web browser or many, they all get dumped into downloads. Now let's say if you have 6 devices in your house that are all trying to download to this computer, Sparky. Well, they all end up in downloads, and it could be a big mess sometimes, trying to decipher what file came from where. One of the things that you'll find about the Xfce desktop is it'll post a note for if you're doing pairing, but it will not post notifications when you receive a file. The KDE Plasma desktop does that by default. A couple of other videos that I have done this on is also for the Cinnamon desktop. I've done that with a special applet that gives you posted notes. And I don't know, I caught wind of somebody on GitHub that is working on a tool to maybe do that for Xfce later, but that's not here yet. So I put it in special folders, so everything that my iPhone sends gets in here. And everything from the tower computer ends up here. And the only thing that I did was I went send to desktop. And then I just colorized that with a heart. That would be done through here with an emblem. All right, and usually you have to refresh your screen to see the emblem. I do it a special way. Control, Alt, and Escape turns it into that, and then you can click that and it'll refresh your screen. Generally, you just log out and log back in if you are changing these emblems. So these are shortcuts, and I like to have them here, especially for Xfce, because I don't have to open up that, then this, or downloads. Okay, so I'll first talk about pairing. What I'm going to do is I'll do this on the iPhone. I'm going to depair this, unpair it. So generally you'll see not trusted device. Okay, so the only one currently is trusted and online is Tower 1. The iPhone is offline. So on my iPhone, I can tell you what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the KDE Connect app while it's facing me, and I have discovered devices, Xfce1, that's the name of this computer that we're filming from. I'm going to initiate the pairing on the iPhone, and you'll see a post-it note up here. So you will get pairing notifications. I'll accept it. And now you'll see that these are both connected. I think you'll probably agree that's very easy to do, unless you are using a firewall. All right, let's talk a little bit about that, just in case you activated your firewall. And so firewall configuration for Sparky. It is GovW or UFW. Okay, this is commonly referred to as UFW, but I like to call it GovW. Not a big deal. Now, if you decide to activate your firewall, which basically when it's not got any color, that means it's off, you will have no rules. And if you decide to turn it on, it's set to deny everything. That's when you need to add some rules. It's not a big deal. I'm just going to tell you, if you use your firewall and want KDE Connect to work, you do the simple thing, pre-configured rules. You can leave simple and advanced alone unless you know what you're doing. Pre-configured is easy to follow. Allow, and now the direction is going to be in. Generally this will allow also outgoing. I like to see both rules. That's just me. However, I am not going to do this for this one. I'm going to do this for KDE Connect. That's what I want. In here, and then just like that, and then this will apply about 8 rules. Okay. I'm still waiting for the refresh here. I probably just sent this a double. No, that's 8 rules. Let me just resize the box so you can see all that. So generally I added 8 rules. Now I can close that. And this will allow my firewall, if I reboot if you do this kind of stuff. You can see the port numbers, TCP and UDP. Don't need to know what those things are, as long as you have rules with KDE Connect. I'm going to turn this back off because that's how I was running this originally. When you have that off, it doesn't display rules. But if you turn it on, you better have some rules for KDE Connect, and that's all done through plus. And again, all you got to do is type in KDE. It displays it in here, and you do the, I recommend both, but if you just want to leave the in, that's fine, because generally it does get taken care of here. I just like to do this as a precaution. It doesn't hurt anything. So that's UFW or GovW. Moving along. We have paired these already. Okay. And again, if you monkeyed with your firewall, please reboot. But we didn't. I just configured it and then I turned it back off. So it's really holding the previous settings. And I've already showed you how to pair these things. Now let's talk about connecting. I'm going to be sending some photos, and they'll end up with, and this is a shortcut to this folder right here. I will actually, now let me leave those, but I will multi-select these and delete them. So let's do one more. So that's all I have in there. But I'm going to send it several nature photos. So let me pick some things. All right, that looks like about 5. And you can, sometimes it does that. That's kind of almost like a glitch when you see that occasionally, because generally you don't see any posted notes. But since you saw that, then you can probably think that maybe the notification system is not totally broken. And I believe that's what the developer is working on. But in either case, all we care about is we received things. Okay, received photos. And from here, you can decide what to do with these things. You know, if you want to take them and move them into your pictures folder, that's great. You know, you can do this in multiple ways. I've shown this before if you're dealing with your file manager. Just do a Control N as in Nancy, and then open up your regular pictures folder and drag them across. Or you can just leave them here. Now let's go the other way. All right, so one of the things about KDE Connect that you will probably find is not the hardiest is it doesn't like to send folders, and in some cases multiple files. So it likes one file at a time. So since my computers are already online, actually Tower 1 is disconnected, so let me do a refresh. Probably went into screensaver mode or something. And it says hello. No, it's still disconnected. I don't see it blinking, but anyways. Usually a refresh will wake these guys up because it sends over a signal. There we are. Yeah, it was just sleeping. I'm pretty sure it's on the screensaver. So anyways, moving along. So I'm going to send this to the tower computer. So it's just click on the file and then send to via KDE Connect. Okay, I'm sending it to Tower 1 instead of the iPhone. And that should go on its merry way. If I do multiple folders, depending on the desktop, sometimes these work and sometimes not. Especially this one here doesn't have a, it doesn't denote that it's a text file, so I'm going to leave that one off. So let's do these that are marked, 3 of these. And we're just going to send it as is. And we get an error, couldn't share. Is there a way to send these files? Yes, there is. It's the same thing that I'm going to be doing with these folders. So if I wanted to send these 3 guys, I can actually create an archive for it temporarily using tar only. Now these are compressions except for that one. Now tar by itself is called tape archive. It's been around since the Unix days like me, and it doesn't compress anything. But instead of just calling it that, I'm going to call that one, I don't know, test 45, whatever. And it's going to end up with the extension of tar. So it's okay. We can reopen this and the file should be saved. That's generally what happens. There's test45 right there. Your file manager does that occasionally. It's not something new. I've seen this happen with Xfces quite often. It still saves the file. Everything is in tar and test45. There are 3 files that now I can send that to KDE Connect, to Tower 1 without an error. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just dump that because that's all I needed to do was temporarily send those. I have the original files. But what about this mouse pointer? You've got a lot of compressed files in there, and we can take some other ones. I don't know what I have in here. I'm going to borrow this one. I'm going to cut it first, throw it into documents, and then I'm going to uncompress it. So it came from the other computer. So basically I am going to, do I want to extract it here? Yeah, why not? All right, so basically I'm going to take and cut this back and dump it back in here. And then go back, and there's a whole bunch of stuff in here. All right, so these are just icons with just stuff in it and 2 folders. So it's a lot of files, in other words. It's quite a few. So 41 megabytes is what we're going to send to Tower 1. Right-click, create an archive, pick tar because it's the quickest way you can do this, and we will leave the name as icon.tar because there's nothing in here that says icons.tar. Okay, now that's a compressed version of that. Is it? Do you know what a tar is? Tape archive is not compressed. It's just a container that has all these files in it, including 2 folders. But I can send that to Tower 1 via KDE Connect. iPhone, not going to send something like that to an iPhone. But to another Linux computer, yes. Okay. Now on the receiving end, when this thing gets received from Tower 1, I can also, this would be similar, I can also just double click it, and I don't have to extract the whole thing if I don't want to. So this is a PNG, just as a speaker PNG. So I'll have a couple of more goofy ones. Here's a penguin. Instead of dropping it here, I'm dropping it on my desktop. Then I'll close that. I didn't extract all the files. I just pulled out 2 out of that big old pile of stuff. I'll delete that. We don't need that. That's still in here. So is that one. So I don't have to extract all of them, is what I'm getting at. Unless you want to extract all of them here or wherever you place these. But generally what I wanted to just cover is the fact that you can transmit from Sparky to another Linux computer a complete folder if you convert it to a tar file. Tar is not compressed. And all Linux distributions can uncompress or view or pull files out of a tar. A tar ball is very common. It's been around for many years. You can certainly use compression, but I don't think it's necessary, depending on the size. But I'm not talking about, we're not sending a complete directory or all of Bob's folders. We're just talking individual. Generally, KDE Connect is single files, or we can also send photos. So in here, I have a photo. And it's a weird name one too. And yes, that's a valid Linux name. Microsoft probably wouldn't like that one. But I can send this to the iPhone. And it's done with send to. And I'll switch this to the iPhone. And I'll put the microphone fairly close to the iPhone so you can hear it. And it will just go ding. That's the iPhone chiming. Now, if I open up my iPhone, I'm looking for that photo there. So when I'm viewing photos on my iPhone, I'm actually disconnected from KDE Connect. And I'll show you that in a second. I can see the photo here and I'm looking at it. Now I want you to notice where the connector is. The connector is offline. Your iPhone has to have the app in front of you to actually receive and send. I believe it's a security thing. So I'm looking at my photos now, or I can be checking text messaging, but I'm now going to open and put the KDE Connect back in the foreground. It was just minimized, and the phone should pretty much immediately reconnect. You can see it's connected. The other cool thing about this icon is you right-click on it, and you can see that Tower 1 is here. And let me do another refresh. Okay, that should now have the iPhone, and it does. And it says battery is at 90%. My iPhone says 92. It's close enough though. Now I'm going to put my iPhone on the mag charger because it's one of those that has the magnetic. And you'll see that change almost immediately. That bracket says charge on it, but I know that's not a complete message, but it's bracket CHAR. It's charging. Tower 1 doesn't have a battery. Tower 1 is a tower computer. There's no battery on that. It's plugged into the wall. So now you can see that whole complete message as I put that back there. It says battery 90% charging. Watch what happens when I pull it off the charger. That's how quickly that kind of notification is done. But again, incoming receipt of files needs to be worked on. And I know there's a developer that is trying to do that for the Xfce desktops. And hopefully that will be done readily. I think KDE Connect is a great tool for sharing files, but that's just me. It's not perfect either, though. I'm at 27 minutes. So KDE Connect tool can be used this way. You can also look at the stuff in here. You can share a file from here too if you walk through the tree. You can use your file manager a lot easier. You can use KDE settings to change the position of the shared received folder, providing you create it ahead of time. All right, the default is always going to be your home folder downloads. But if you created yourself some productivity folders like this, and you can certainly send them to the desktop as a shortcut, and you can even color these with a heart if you like. All right, so more importantly, that's done like this. I'm working with the iPhone, so I got confused for a second because I'm talking. Choose and close. And I could do the same thing with Tower 1. I use, if I can find it, share and receive. Click the first box, which is configure, not about. The other one is about, and this is configure. Again, it's not a perfect system. But you can go from defaults to assigning subfolders. And that'll keep your download folder fairly clean. And it'll look like that, and they'll be inside of these things when the files are being received on Sparky. Thank you for watching.